Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing dip powder over builder gel. So here I am with my natural naked nails. I just reshaped everything up and I'm ready to get started with some builder gel. So today we're going to be using Sparkle & Co. products. I actually received pH Prep in my sub bag this month along with this color, which is this beautiful everyday kind of peachy nude color, but it has a twist. It glows in the dark, and I will show you at the end of the video how cool it is when it glows. We're also going to be doing this over builder gel. So this is the Aimelie builder gel. I'm also using peel base, so we're going to go ahead, get this on my nails and jump into the tutorial. So we're going to start with pH prep. This is actually step 1 in the dip system. Prep is step 1, step 2 is base, step 3 is solidify, and step 4 is your top coat. I have actually never used pH prep up until this point, so it was kind of cool to receive it in the sub bag and get to play with it a little bit. So we'll see if it really does extend the wear of my builder gel. So once I let that dry, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Aimelie builder gel. If you've never used this before and you want a full tutorial, I will go ahead and link that video down below, and I go through and show you all the ins and outs and how to use this product. Essentially, it is a very, very thick gel that is equivalent to doing a couple of dips of clear underneath your regular dip powder, but I think that this is easier to use and a little bit better of an outcome than dipping in clear. Plus it is so much faster and so easy. So we're going to start with the thumb, and then I'm going to give you a little more detail when I go into my finger here. So this is extremely thick. When I first start out, I just kind of glop it on the nail there, and then I'm going to wipe a little bit off my brush and go back in and spread it around as evenly as possible. It does self-level to a point, but you want to start by really making sure you spread it out up to your cuticles, you get it on your sidewalls, you get it all the way down to coat the tip of your nail, and everything is nice and covered. Then you flip it upside down for about 10 or 15 seconds to let everything level and create a nice natural apex. Once everything has leveled, you're going to flip it back over and cure it for 1 to 2 minutes, depending on what kind of lamp you have. And there we go. Typically, I do not do one finger at a time. I'll do all of my fingers at one time, but for the sake of editing, I went ahead and did it this way. I'm going to go in with my second coat of builder gel now that I've done one coat on all 5 of my fingers. So typically I will do my 4 fingers at once, then I'll do my 2 thumbs, and then I'll do the other 4 fingers. So I do it in 3 steps essentially to get all of my nails covered. This layer I'm going to try to do a little bit more thin than I did the first layer. I don't want them to get too chunky since we're going to be doing dip powder over top of these, but I feel like a good size first layer and then a thin second layer is enough to give my nails enough protection to go underneath all of my nail products. So I am going to be using peel base on top of this so that when I do change my mani, I have this builder gel still on top of my natural nails, and I don't risk damaging my poor thin little natural nails and breaking them and messing up this beautiful shape I have. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that over again 10 or 15 seconds just to let everything level and create that beautiful apex. And then we're going to flip it back over and cure it for another minute. So I'm using this light. It is just a super cheapy Sally Hansen light. I got it at Walmart forever ago. So any UV LED lamp would be just fine. So once you cure it, it's going to have a sticky, tacky feeling to it. You can file that off, or you can just take a cotton pad or cotton ball with a little regular old rubbing alcohol, take that over top of your builder gel, once it's all cured, and it will take that sticky tacky layer off. You can also just go right in with a file or a buffing block, and it will take that tacky layer off as well, but it will be more buffed. This way it's smooth and shiny. So now that I have this on top of all of my nails, I'm going to clean up my shape a little bit. That builder gel can kind of seep into the side walls and around the edges and under my nail, and I just want to make sure, since this is my first protective layer, that my shape is cleaned up and everything looks the way I want it to look before I put my peel base on. So I'm just going through really quickly with a hand file and just going into the side walls and cleaning up the shape on all of my nails here. And when I'm done with that, we're going to go right into peel base. You do not have to use peel base. It is totally just an optional step that I like to use when I'm going to be changing my manis frequently, or I have a few different things I want to do. So here they all are, all nice and cleaned up, and we're going to go in with the Unt peel base. So this stuff is like seriously good. It's almost too good. Whenever I use Unt peel base, my manis never last me more than a day or two, which is why I used it, because I wanted to be able to pop these off when I was ready to do my next mani. You can do your full nail like I'm doing, or you can do just a stripe down the center if you want it to last you a little longer. You know, peel base has been a journey for me, and there are lots of different steps and techniques, and everything works a little different for each individual. So you kind of have to find your peel base that works well for you and the method that works best for you. So like I said, I'm going to want to change my mani soon, so I'm going to go ahead and do a full layer from cuticle to tip and let that go ahead and dry so I can pop these babies off when I'm ready. Now that that's dried, we're going to go right into the regular dip process. So again, this is a color from my sub bag this month. If you want to see an unboxing video, I will link that down below where I unbox my bag. And every month when I do that video, I do a giveaway where I give sample colors away. So I will link that below. Go enter my giveaway and watch that video as well. But you can see it's just a really beautiful kind of peachy nude color. It's a great everyday color, and I really, really love this. So I fully intended to use my Sparkle & Co. base, but first the lid, I could not get the dang thing off. Once I finally did, I have found that the base inside had turned all goopy and thick and nasty. So we went with plan B, and I tossed that and went straight for my Virgo and Gem. I actually prefer this because it's a thinner formula and it's easier to work with for me. I just wanted to keep it all Sparkle & Co. for the sake of this video. But, you know, you gotta bob and weave when you gotta bob and weave. So here we are. So I'm just applying a full coat of this from my cuticle to my tip and dipping it straight into the dip powder. I'm going to tap this off, and then I'm going to go around my cuticle lines and all the edges with a cuticle stick just to clean that up, to make it easier to file later and just not as chunky and thick. I like to take as many steps to keep this thin and a good shape while I'm dipping so that I don't have to spend as much time filing later. And you'll see I just do a little hand filing and buffing. I don't use a drill or anything like that. I don't have to with the way that my method or my process. So I'm just kind of cleaning up those edges, and when I feel like that is cleaned up enough, I'm going to move on to the next one. So I went ahead and did a dip on all of my nails, and here I am going through the final finger, the second dip. So this is my last nail, completing a second dip on each one of my fingers. I didn't go through and film every single dip on every nail just because I have so many videos on how to use dip powder, So if you are interested in watching any of my other tutorials, I have a nails playlist called Nails, Nails, Nails. So go check that out. I have a lot of nail tutorials and a lot of fun things that I try out. So I'm just finishing up that last nail by going around all the edges with that cuticle stick. And when I am satisfied that everything is cleaned up, and that's what everything looks like. That's 2 layers of dip. So now we're going to go into the third step in the dip process, which is solidify, and this is the Sparkle & Co. I'm going to go ahead and make sure every single nail is fully saturated. You really want this to get all of that dip powder wet so that it cures and hardens that powder into that thicker acrylic type consistency. That way we can go in and file and clean up, and we don't have wet chunks of dip powder flaking off. So now that those are all good and saturated, I'm going to let that dry for about a minute. Once it's dry, we can go ahead and start filing. And you can see that already, even before I start, my shape is pretty clean. I started going around my cuticle and then realized I needed to switch to my glass file. If you hand file, I would highly recommend a glass file for around your cuticles so you don't just shred those babies up while you're filing. I will link this one that I use from Amazon down below. Then I'm just going, once all my edges are cleaned up, I'm just going over it with a buffing block, making sure that my shape looks nice and clean and everything is clean and sharpened up. And that's it. That's the extent of filing and buffing that I do after I dip. You can see I don't use a drill. Everything comes out looking pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and shape up all of my nails, and this is what it looks like after I dipped 2 layers and solidify and shaped. Now at this point you could do a couple different things. You could go back in with your solidify and top coat with your dip top coat like you normally would in the dip process. But for the sake of builder gel being my new favorite thing, I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate this dip powder in builder gel and then use my Aimelie top coat. This has become my favorite top coat. It is absolutely beautiful and so easy to use. It doesn't chip, it doesn't flake, so I've been stuck on it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into that builder gel, going right on top of that dip powder, and I'm going to do a very thin layer. I've already done 2 layers of builder gel underneath my 2 layers of dip, so I do not want this to be too crazy. This would just be equivalent to doing a dip of clear over your colored dip powder before you top coat. But I find this builder gel is so much easier to use. It cuts down on the process quite a bit, and it's just such a beautiful quality product. For $10 for the builder gel and the top coat, I am honestly shook at how many manicures I've gotten out of this bottle, and I will be repurchasing this set for sure. This is probably the best Amazon product I've ever stumbled upon. And you can see I'm going back into those first 2 nails and getting a little bit of that gel that was kind of thicker on those first 2 to be able to coat my pinky nail. Again, I'm keeping this builder gel as thin as possible. I just want to encapsulate that dip powder and basically put a gel base to prepare for my gel top coat. Flipping that over for another 10 or 15 seconds, curing it up, and here we go. So at this point it is still tacky. We're going to leave it tacky because I'm going to go in with my gel top coat. I'm going to go straight on top of that tacky builder gel with this beautiful top coat, and I am telling you, this is the best gel top coat I have ever used, and I've tried quite a few of them, and I can't believe how cheap this stuff is. So now I'm going to go ahead and just finish top coating all of my nails here. And this stuff doesn't chip on me, it doesn't crack, it doesn't flake. It just stays looking beautiful and shiny until I'm ready to take it off. And for $10, you absolutely just cannot beat this set. So again, I'm just flipping it over for 10 or 15 seconds to let that all level out, and then I'm curing it for about a minute. And here we go. We are top coated, and look at that shine. We've got a good amount of thickness. It's not too bulky. I've got my beautiful dip powder color on. But I did have a little bit of that gel and top coat seep into my sidewalls and kind of get chunky and goopy under there, which is uncomfortable and can kind of make the shape, mess with your shape so it's not clean and crisp. So I just went around with a file just around the edges and crisped up that shape and cleaned that up one more time. And then check out this glow. Is that not the cutest dip powder ever? It's just such a beautiful, natural, everyday nude. And then when the lights go out, party. I sure hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I really love playing around with different techniques and methods, and this top coat, can we just have a moment of silence for this? It's just so beautiful. I appreciate y'all watching my videos. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up before you leave, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.